Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I wanted to talk about who I believe are the best free agents fits for each team, like the top targets. And let's get right into it. This is who I believe each team should target, like be their top target. So before we start today's video, I want to hear your opinions on who do you guys believe your team, whoever it is, should get in free agency. And some of these I know it's very interesting to talk about players' contracts because you don't know if it's going to be a similar contract, going to be less, is it going to be more. So I'll try to get an idea of what they're worth, especially by using, thankfully, the athletic John Hollinger has done this thing called board, and he's put a price tag on certain players. So at least that's something we can use to scale, for scale, like to have an idea what the reference. So I just went right through here. You guys can pause right there whenever, but let's get right into it. With the Atlanta Hawks, they have said they want a backup point guard. They really want a backup point guard. And Chris Dunn, I'm assuming he's going to accept that option. Come on. Who else is going to pay him $5 million? The only other reason I think he wouldn't accept it is if the team tells him they're not going to play him, they're going to trade or cut him, or he just wants a fresh start and he's just going to say this experience was just a terrible consumption. Now I'm going to close this because this is going to keep annoying me. And now the Boston, I think this is perfect. Derrick Rose backing up Trae Young. He can play some defense. He gets a steal a game, and he's a guy who could be perfect for them to be their sixth man. He's a better version of what we saw from Lou. He'll be doing a better version of what we saw Lou Will do for them this year, and he really will give Trae Young some minutes to actually take a breath and not watch the leads get wiped out. TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell is awesome. He's not elite at anything, but he's not bad at anything. He's just he's above average to good at everything. He'll grab you like 4 or 5 rebounds a game, dish out 7 or 8 assists. He was one steal away, I think, by tying the NBA record. Gets you almost 10 points a game. Yeah, he's a 31.3% three-point shooter, and he's never been that great. So a guy that they could also go for is Alex Caruso, but I think TJ McConnell will be cheaper, and he fits more in the vein of guys that Brad Stevens like, and I think Coach Udoka. Is it Emi? How do you say his first name? Emmy? Is it Emmy? Someone tell me how you say the first name. I know it's Udoka. Nick Batum, come on, guys. That's perfect. They saw what they did with Blake Griffin, and Nick Batum would do what Blake Griffin did, but at a better version and a better defender who can guard basically every position, and he can hit 40% from 3. He can grab some rebounds, put some points, dish out the ball. He can do everything. Charlotte would love Jared Allen. And I'm thinking Jared Allen's going to hit free agency, and they're not going to match because Evan Mobley's going to get drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers, because right now I have Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, Jalen Suggs, Scotty Barnes as my top 5 picks, and then Jonathan Kuminga going 6. And I really think Jared Allen, if he hits free agency, Charlotte should throw older money at him. Come on, this guy's a walking double-double and gets you almost 2 blocks a game. Imagine catching lobs from LaMelo on the pick and rolls. This is a guy who's been connected all off season, an all NBA season. Lonzo Ball, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, almost 2 steals a game, and he's had back-to-back years with 37% three-point shooting. The year before, I think he was taking like 3 attempts a game. This year, he shot almost 5 to 6 attempts from 3, and he kept the percentage up. Don't say he's not a good three-point shooter, because he is. I'm a big proponent that I think Patty Mills is not going to hit free agency. He's going to stay in San Antonio. I don't know why I said that, but if he does hit free agency, Patty Mills is the perfect backup point guard for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And he's a guy who can come in, drop 10 points a game, and I wrote PPV. It's not a pay-per-view. It's a points per game. And he'll give you some assists, shoot really well from 3, and he's just the perfect guy. And I think the coaching staff will love him. He's he's a veteran leader. But that's why I also think the Spurs won't let him walk. Dallas Mavericks, Reggie Jackson to replace Tim Hardaway Jr. He'll cost maybe the same, because I think they're both going to be about like $10 million guys, $7 to $10 million guys. 6 man, he was putting up like 18 points a game, in the playoffs while shooting 40%. He had the same about efficient like field goal and 3-point percentage in the playoffs, but he had like 3 or 5 assists a game with like 4 or 5 rebounds and was at least 18 points. He was had multiple 20, almost 30-point games in the playoffs. He's a beast. Imagine the Denver Nuggets. Will Barton might stay, JaMychal Green might stay, but Tim Hardaway Jr. to replace Will Barton, I think that'd be good. Yeah, he only gives you a half a steal game, but if you can, PJ Dozier and a few of the other guys, like Shaquille Harrison, I don't know if he's going to stay, but if you get, Facundo Campazzo is a good defender, and Austin Rivers, if he stays, he's a good defender at times. Tim Hardaway Jr. would be the sixth man or could be the starting shooting guard. Honestly, imagine, to start the year, it's going to be Monte Morris, Facundo Campazzo, and if they keep Austin Rivers right there guarding rotating through point guard, Tim Hardaway Jr. and PJ can run the shooting guard, and small forward Michael Porter Jr., power forward, you have, I don't know if Bol is actually going to be something. I think Bol at this point, they should try to do what Pokusevski is doing for the Oklahoma City Thunder and play small forward if he can't get the weight up. Just use his size and shot blocking and 3-point at a different position. But power forward is probably going to be JaMychal Green. So Tim Hardaway Jr. is the starting shooting guard, then Jamal Murray, Hardaway Jr., Porter. They have Aaron Gordon. I completely forgot about Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon at the power forward with JaMychal Green backing him up. Imagine that. Aaron Gordon, Tim Hardaway Jr., Michael Porter Jr., and Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray in the playoffs. Taylor Horton Tucker, I would really like that. And I feel like we saw what Jeremy Grant did. And Dwayne Casey, he loves those lengthy, long players. I really think this is a team that can pay him something that the Lakers won't match, and he can be a really, really good fit for them. Now, Al Burks, I think great 3-point shooter. He's only 29, 6-man. He screams the perfect Warriors guy, and I think he can come in and literally average the similar stats to what he did this year. Houston Rockets, they would love Duncan Robinson. If they do trade Eric Gordon, Daniel House and all the older guys, Duncan Robinson next to Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. and Christian Wood and Jayshawn Tate. Oh my God, the shooting ability on that team will be ridiculous. Jeff Green, imagine him backing up, and sometimes they run either Turner or Sabonis at center with Green, Warren, LeVert, and Brogdon on the floor. Holy crap, the floor spacing and what Sabonis will be able to do on the inside. Goran Dragic, as a backup point guard, he'll be cheap. He'll be someone who could be closer to the minimum, and he can come in again. I think he'll average similar stats to what he did this year: 10 to 14 points a night, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal a game, while shooting over 40% from the field and about 38%, 37% from 3, and being the backup point guard 6-man for the Los Angeles Clippers. That'd be perfect. The Lakers, a guy I really thought Reggie Bullock would be nice. Oh, look at my girlfriend texting me, and I thought he'd be good, but somebody really cheap. Reggie Bullock would be great, and I think he'd be the best, but there's a bunch of moves that they could do, and it's really hard to picture what they're going to do. And the Lakers, just put a question mark on that. I put Trevor Ariza. He's perfect for them for a minimum deal. 1.5 steals, 35% from 3, but he's been a better 3-point shooter in his career. 2 assists, 5 rebounds, 10 points almost. Not bad, and he'd be a good backup wing defensive specialist for them. Kelly Oubre. Imagine Kelly Oubre, Ja Morant, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Jonas Valanciunas, or Jaren Jackson Jr. and Brandon Clark and Kelly Oubre just manning the forwards and center, the front court. Oh my God. I love that. Now, I put Reggie Bullock to go to the Miami Heat, and he's a guy who shot 41% from 3, almost had a steal a game, had 4 rebounds a game with 11 points. The Heat would love this guy. Imagine him playing shooting guard or small forward if they do Bam Adebayo and Butler as the front court, Reggie Bullock at the small forward position if Duncan Robinson does leave. Shooting guard, Kendrick Nunn. Point guard, question mark. We don't know what they're doing right there. But he could also be a backup, and they could have somebody else. Milwaukee Bucks, Victor Oladipo, he's going to cost next to nothing, and he's not going to play for most of the year. He might not even play the year, but they could do a 2-year deal and put it backloaded. And if he does come back, they have a great potentially starting shooting guard, but I really think he would be the 6th man for this team. Imagine the 6th man being Victor Oladipo coming out from behind. Really, or they could run Drew Holiday at point, and then you have Victor at shooting guard, Chris at small forward, Giannis at power forward, and Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis just running the center position. Minnesota, PJ Tucker next to Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, and Ricky Rubio. Or that's what I would want because I want Malik. I think Malik Beasley can win Sixth Man of the Year if he is the sixth man. But could be Russell, Beasley, Anthony Edwards, PJ Tucker, Karl Anthony Towns. And on offense, they could put PJ Tucker at center, Karl Anthony Towns at power forward, and then on defense, Tucker at forward and Karl Anthony Towns at center, and have Towns dominate power forwards. The Pelicans, Danny Green, imagine him coming off 40%. Yeah, he was really bad in the playoffs, but he can really help this locker room get their shit together and replace Josh Hart because Josh Hart said he wants a fresh start. I know Chris Paul won't leave, and he's going to cost, I think, about like $38 million a year, sign a 2-year +1 deal and with an option. But the Nets, not the Nets, the Knicks would love Chris Paul, and if he does become available, he's definitely going to go there, but he's going to stay in Phoenix. Oklahoma City Thunder have the money and the ability to throw money at John Collins, and he could be their starting 4 and small ball 5 right now while they develop the center. And I want them to draft Scotty Barnes, but I think Jonathan Kuminga is going to fall to them at 6. So I really would love John Collins. I think he would work perfect to what they're running in Oklahoma City. And I did not put anybody in Orlando. Holy crap, I forgot Orlando's free agent. So we're going to think right here who could be a free agent fit. And I'm thinking right now, I'm trying to think of a point guard. They need a primary playmaker, but they have Markelle Fulton. It's really shooting what they need, and a shooter that they could get, obviously, I already put Al Burks there, so I'm trying to think of somebody right here off the top of the dome. And comment down below, who should the Orlando Magic? I feel so embarrassed. They're not going to bring back James Ennis. Svi. Let's do Svi. He played for Oklahoma City. He's 6'7", and he has length, and he's shown he can be a 40% three-point shooter. Svi. We're going to write Svi. If you guys do not know who I'm talking about, I'm just going to Google him real quick. Svi. I can't say his last name. I just prefer he went to Kansas, and 6'7" with a 6'5" wingspan, but still, he'd be perfect. He can shoot for the Magic. Come on, guys. Philadelphia 76ers want Kyle Lowry. He's perfect for them. Do I even need to explain that? No. Now, Cameron Payne might not stay, and I think Frank Ntilikina could be that guy for him. Look, those stats are terrible. 3 points, a rebound, an assist, a steal game on. Those are terrible stats, but I really think out of anybody, Monty Williams can fix him. Andre Iguodala. They need defense, and yeah, he's not the best three-point shooter ever, but if Dame stays, he could be perfect. Rayshawn Holmes is going to leave. Nerlens Noel screams. Imagine him catching lobs from Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox, and then put him next to Harrison Barnes and Marvin Bagley. Or if they get rid of Harrison Barnes, Buddy Hield and Harrison Barnes. But yeah, so San Antonio Spurs, they've been saying they really want Lauri Markkanen and Kelly Oubre, which I expect them to get both. Lauri Markkanen next to Jakob Poeltl, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, and DeJounte Murray with Derek White, Lonnie Walker, Drew Eubanks, hopefully Patty Mills returns, Luka, all off the bench. Oh, that's a really good team that's going to be in the playoffs next year. Rayshawn Holmes to the Raptors, they need a center, and he'll probably cost. They can probably bring back Boucher and Holmes, and they get a guy who's a great rebounder, shot blocker, and he plays with a chip on his shoulder, grindy. He's a perfect Nick Nurse guy. Josh Richardson, look, this guy, he hasn't been shooting three ball really well in the past 2 years, but I think the Jazz can make him work, and if he goes in their system, he can be a really good fit. Cameron Payne to replace Raul Neto. Oh, another guy, Raul Neto. Let's go over here. The Magic, Raul Neto. Raul Neto. There we go. Had like 1.5 steals a game and shot 40% for the Wizards this past year. Cameron Payne to replace Raul Neto. He's 6'1" with like a 6'9" or 6'11" wingspan. It's absurd. So that's my list, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Comment down below. Like and subscribe if you guys do enjoy this content. But that's basically it for me. I'm going to peace out. I'm going to just run through this list one last time for you guys. But yeah, that's it. This is a longer video than I was expecting. But yeah, peace out, boys and girls, or whoever you are.